The award show is not starting now. Ignore the text. Forgot that text was on there, as it is time for Today in Sports. Specifically, all things Toronto, because it is a big day for Toronto sports here on the CollingsThodeNetwork. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in, and as you have been lately, it's been electric. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit like on this stream or video, however you decide to watch this here. Make sure you leave a comment disagreeing with anything I say, or as I prefer, agreeing with what I say. So without further ado, we're going to hop into this here. It's going to be a very fun day as we have Blue Jays to talk about, Raptors to talk about, and then, yes, the Toronto Maple Leafs. And the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to take up most of this episode here, so if you're here for that, well, then you might want to skip through the, you don't want to skip through the Blue Jay and the Raptors stuff, but, it's there if you would like to. But to get into it, we'll start with the Toronto Blue Jays, as that was what my shorts that I posted today was all about, because there's rumors coming out that the Toronto Blue Jays are eyeing up and are potentially in the market for Framber Valdez. And why this is exciting is because this guy is great. Regardless of the one time he pitched at his own catcher for being a doofus, we like this guy. We like the stuff he's got. But again, he's a doofus. One time, if you want context for that altercation, there was one game where he and his catcher got crossed up. His catcher on the mound was telling him, step off, step off, step off. And he decides, no, I'm going to pump a 96-mile-an-hour fastball right down the gut. And I don't remember who hit the home run in the clip. I haven't watched it since. This is all memory. Maybe it was Trent Grisham. Look up the clip and tell me if I'm right or wrong. I think it was Trent Grisham who hits the home run. And then the next batter up, he signals for a slider or changeup or curveball or any off-speed pitch, really. And Valdez decides that this is a good time to throw a fastball right at my catcher's. It was not really at his head. I'll just say right at my catcher in general. So other than that one incident, he's apparently fine. Maybe. Who knows? I haven't heard anything else really. Other than that, he's a good pitcher. 7th in Cy Young voting in 2024. 15th in MVP. He got votes. In 2023, 2022, he was an all-star both years. 9th and 5th in Cy Young voting. If we could bring in a guy like this, perfectly rounds off the bullpen. What am I saying? Perfectly rounds off the starting rotation bullpen. Got a little ahead of myself there, as basically, I don't know why it's on my mind, but that's really what we need to fix as this team is the bullpen. I love the concept of bringing in another star starting pitcher. Gives us one of the best, if not the best. Hey, if the Dodgers stop saying bullpen. If the Dodgers starters can stay healthy, maybe I give it to them. Glasnow, Snell, both Cy Young level guys. Ohtani's great. Of course, Yamamoto did some damage to us, but how likely is it that all of those guys are going to start 15, 20 games? I give it a 30% chance. So I like the Jays lineup, especially if we got a guy like Valdez, who in the past few seasons has started 31, 28, 31, 31, 22, and 10 games, which is quite good. That's in reverse chronological order. So it was in 2022, or I can't read. Am I having a stroke? No. 2020 was when he started the 10 games. Of course, that's in 60-game season. That's a very impressive year. He led the league in innings pitched. He gets regularly up into the 190s. This is a guy that I would love to have. And then we trade Barrios, and bam, our starting pitching goes from a A- to an A+, just like that. We're going to see if the water will make me remember how to talk. Also, he throws left. That's a huge thing. That would be a game changer for our Blue Jays rotation. That is 5 righties right now. 5 guys that are all going to fend for themselves, Try hard against those left-handed bats. So Valdez would be great, because I don't think Eric Lauer is going to be finding himself into the starting five. Now, that's about it I have for the Blue Jays. No, it is not a signing yet. Quite yet. But, could become a signing. So, no. It's not a signing, but according to John Heyman, we could be second place. It's not really in the list of teams for Valdez wants to sign with. More so just who he thinks might be, likely to get him. And because we still have money left over from not paying Tucker, might as well. So that's going to be it for the Blue Jays talk, as we'll head into a little bit of Raptor talk, as tonight our beloved boys in red come back. Toronto's favorite team, the Toronto Raptors. As it's not the Blue Jays right now, I can tell you that much. Or not the wire didn't make me remember how to talk. It is not the Toronto Maple Leafs right now, I can tell you that much. So, to talk about something I want to talk about, how about them Raptors? We got the Knicks tonight in a primetime game in MSG, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure that this is going to be an away game for our guys here. Yeah, no, versus New York Knicks. That makes me... Yeah, no, home game. Sorry about that. Misinformation being spread. We're in Toronto, Scotiabank Arena, facing the New York Knicks. This is coming our 5-game road trip where we are on a 4-game winning streak. It's been a very fun time for the Toronto Raptors, Golden State Warriors, Sacramento Kings, Portland Trail Blazers, and then most recently, of course, Oklahoma City, where Scotty Barnes, in my mind, cemented himself as the defensive player of the year. If you are a betting man, go check out Scotty Barnes. I'm not advocating for you to gamble or anything like that, but I'm just saying Scotty Barnes is 4th place in Defensive Player of the Year right now. He's behind Rudy Gobert in 3rd, Chet Holmgren Wemby in 2nd, and then Chet in 1st. I think that is ludicrous. I think Scotty far and away deserves it in my mind. There's so many advanced stats that back this up. Scotty's been so good this season. So we'll see what they do against the Knicks. The last time we faced the Knicks, let me pull that up, because if I remember correctly, it was a tough loss in the middle of December, if I remember correctly, and it was December 9th when we lost 117-101. It was Game 5 in the middle of a 5-game losing streak. So, big redemption game against the Knicks tonight. Dare I say, must win. In my mind it is, because the New York Knicks, hot on our heels for that 3 seed. Us, the Knicks, the Celtics, all fighting for the top 3 seeds. Pulling up the NBA standings here. It's tight. The Knicks actually won back the 3 seed by win percentage, as they are at 609 and we're at 604, but we are both 6.5 games back of first place, and the Celtics are only 5.5 games back. We're a game back of the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference right now. It's us versus the Knicks tonight to establish who is the 3 seed. So, yeah, dare I say it's a must-win. It's hard to say any game is a must-win when it's January 28th. But that's kind of the point we're at in our seasons for basketball and for hockey. Anyways, to keep y'all updated, the All-Star break coming up soon for basketball. But it doesn't appear that they do a Olympic break like hockey's about to do. As looking at basketball here, the Raptors play on the 1st, the 4th, and this is February, by the way, the 1st, the 4th, the 5th, the 8th, 11th, then the All-Star break, then the 19th, 22nd, 24th, 25th, 28th. For reference, the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to play on February 2nd, February 3rd, and then February 25th. Why do the Leafs get 22 days off? And the Raptors, I thought, okay, correct me if I'm wrong. Is basketball's a summer sport. Basketball's a summer sport. Just because it's played in winter doesn't make it okay. That's, brain fart right there. Just because basketball is played all winter does not make it a winter Olympic sport. Silly me. Because I was thinking about basketball, and it was Rio in 2016 and London in 2012. And I was like, those were the summer games. Yeah, shout out to our ever reliable Dave Collings in the chat there. Of course. Letting y'all know, and by y'all, I mean me, it's a summer game. So, thank you, Dave Collings, in the chat. My number one moderator, my first ever moderator. Respect to you. So, Raptors versus Knicks tonight. It's a must-win game. The starting lineups, I don't know if they're actually going to be true. I mean, the game is in just about an hour and a half. So, NBA.com, NBA daily lineups. I've looked at this before. It was wrong, so take this with a grain of salt, but we are so close to the start of the game. I feel like it's got to be right at this point. The Toronto Raptors are going to be starting Brandon Ingram at shooting guard, RJ Barrett at small forward. You can flip those, basically. Scotty Barnes at power forward, Sandro Mamu at center, and Emmanuel Quickley at point guard. We'll see if they actually roll with that, but of course RJ Barrett facing off against his former team. I expect big things out of him, especially coming back from injury. I think this is going to be one of his first games actually playing full minutes, so I'm really looking forward to that. And that's going to be all I have to say about the Raptors, as the more I talk, the more I think about the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the more angry I get. So let's get into Leaf talk. It's been a stretch for the boys in blue, let me tell you that, as we are currently on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game losing streak, which is, well, as the Spanish say, no bueno. That's bad. 5-game losing streak. We did have an overtime loss to the Detroit Red Wings in there, so 1 point in the last 5 games. Going back to our last 10, that's 7 losses. 7 losses in our last 10 games. And 2 of them were OT losses, so bad, very bad stretch. The power friendship has officially ended. That early January, late December stretch of hope is officially over. That 4-game win streak. Yeah, this is not a season that we want to remember. This is not a season to be proud of. And yeah, it's officially time to blow it up. Not like explode it, but like it's officially time to make changes. And so shout out to my dad. Got me some notes. We're going to go over them. We're going to review what he has to say, and well, what the outlook of our very favorite Toronto Maple Leafs is going to be. And I might sound like a hater here, and hey, I might just be. I feel like it's justified to be a hater, if we're being honest with each other, because the Leafs haven't given me much to like. Matthews had about a 10-game stretch. Let's see, actually. How has our boy Toronto legend Austin Matthews been doing in his latest games? His last 5, he went 3 games in a row without a point. Sweet. Last night against Buffalo, 7-4 loss, by the way. Last night against Buffalo, he had a goal and 2 assists. Yippee! Yeah, you woohoo! I'm so glad. What a great output. In our current 5, we've lost the last. Going back to Minnesota, the 6-3 loss that I predicted was going to be a win. He had a goal and assist in that one. Again, yippee! Woohoo! He's been a -1 in every single game except the Buffalo game last night. I'm sick and tired of this season with these Toronto Maple Leafs. It's been aggravating. That's all I'm gonna say. It's aggravating. And you know what? Probably aggravates me the most, and it's the first point on this list here. And I'm glad it's the first point. It's all about Brad Treliving. can we trust these guys to make trades, especially right now? Look at his history. Look at the Matt Tkachuk trade. Look at anything he did in Calgary. He took a great team and made it awful, and then dipped, and is now doing the same thing to my Toronto Maple Leafs, except to call us great. We were pretty good. I'll give us that. So no, I do not trust him at all to make deals. The Lawton deal, I guess, is now working out, but it didn't work out in the time frame we needed it to, which was last year's playoffs. Same with the Carlo trade. Again, it's hard to get mad at him for those deals because I fully understand the intention. But especially with Carlo, he lived up to the trade. But Lawton did not. Lawton is not worth a first. He's playing fourth line for us. He's playing 9 minutes a game. Marner, our return from Marner, which could have been apparently, I don't know how true this actually is, should have been Mikko Rantanen but I don't actually, I take that with a grain of salt. I don't actually know if that was true or not in the end. But it turns out to be Nicholas Waugh, who plays also 10 minutes a game. Do I trust management to make trades? No, I don't. Not one bit. Not a part of me. So, the big reason why also, second point on this page, is that management, that being Trey Living and most likely Craig Berube, who doesn't really have a hand in trading, but this applies to him, are fired if they don't make the playoffs. I genuinely believe they are. This is a 2.5, maybe 3 season experiment for Trey Living, 2-year experiment for Berube that is immediately failing. One of the more exciting offenses in the league has been turned into one of the slowest, boringest teams in the game. It's aggravating, and that's the exact same thing that happened in Calgary. It ruined a guy like Jonathan Huberdeau, and we expect, I don't know. They probably think they're going to get fired, so that means that they're going to go hunting for a star to come in. That star is probably not going to play good, if we can even afford it, which we can't because we don't have the assets. It's ridiculous to me. And so if I were to be GM of this team, we'll take the fact of emotional firing and personnel stuff out of this, because I don't imagine the Leafs become sellers at all. Mostly because it's the job on the line. If you don't make the playoffs and you don't, sell to get a better pick or to get any picks at this point, you're a failure. But then if you don't make the playoffs at all, and you're the GM of the Toronto Maple Leafs, that might make you a failure anyways. It's a tough position to be in. Trust me, this is not enviable by any means. I'm still going to be a hater. That doesn't stop me. Don't kid me wrong here. But if I were to be general manager, we would have to be playing a little game of deal or no deal. Because we have quite a lot of trade bait on this team, which is quite exciting if you ask me. List is expansive, so let's just jump into it. We have Michelli, gone yesterday. I'm trading him tomorrow. Anytime a general manager picks up the phone and says, yeah, I'll give you some kind of pick compensation for this guy, you say yes. Same with Nick Robertson. I said it before, I'll say it again. He is playing valuable hockey right now. Capitalize on it. Get this guy out of town and we could get a third or a second. To go along with that, McMahon, we're playing him on the first line. I think there's a reason for that. It's because we're trying to boost his value to sell him. It has to be. There's no other reason to be playing guys like that on the first line other than Nylander's injury. We also have Nicholas Roy. Yeah, we're burying him in the lineup, playing him again 10 minutes a game. We'll pull it up, actually. We'll pull it up. Let's find it here. I don't want injuries. Stats. Let's go. Roy. It's the smallest name on the list. You think I'd find it easily. His time on ice is 14.5 minutes, so not bad for a third liner, but not good for trying to boost a guy's trade value. It's such an awkward position to be in, though, but if we could put him up a line maybe, maybe sell Michelli, put him up a line, and then sell him after he proves to be just slightly valuable. And then that also gives a guy like Lawton a little bit of time to shine. His time on ice per game is 13 minutes, 47 seconds, so it's not actually that bad, but I think it has been down lately, which is frustrating. As, he played 9 minutes against Vegas, and then he's been playing 15 minutes otherwise. By the way, Lawton, do not trade him. Do not. That is your heart and soul. That is a guy that loves this team. Shout out to Gabe's Film Worlds for the world in the chat there. Get rid of McMahon. He's 30, and his entire game is based on speed. He's saying that Robertson and Nyes are cool. Want them to stay and help the younger guys and our rebuild, like JVR and Bozak. And as someone who grew up as a huge JVR and Bozak fan, especially during the playoff series against Washington, yeah, they're valuable guys to have. Robertson's my only point of contention just because he's smaller, and we've seen his game not translate so well, but man, do I love Nyes. I want Nyes to be on this team his entire career. That would be peak, if you asked me. And so I agree with you there. We have to trade McMahon while he's still valuable. He's just a better Michael Grabner at the end of the day here. Continuing on with the list, we got to get rid of potentially more guys. Domi, I'm 50-50 on just because I love a guy like Domi. To me, he's kind of like that JVR and Bozak type. But that's my opinion. He's a great culture guy. Matthews apparently is great friends with him. Moving on to some of the defensemen. OEL, this is the time to trade him. He's old. He's got a cheap contract. We could probably get a pretty good pick compensation out of him. I quite like the concept of getting OEL out of town now while he's most valuable, and rather not just have him retire on our books. Jake McCabe, I feel like he's super valuable, but that's because I really like him, and I really don't want him to go anywhere. But if we have to and we can't re-sign him, then that might just be he and Carlo might just have to be the guys that are the casualties. And then looking at the goaltending, it looks like Wall's going to be our guy. Plus, he's not been the greatest lately, if we're being honest with each other. So, very unlikely that we're going to be shipping him out of town. So that leaves Stolars and Hildebeest as our two guys to sell. And, hey, they both have value right now. Stolars probably is a little lower, especially coming off that injury. But Hildebeest has... Someone might buy him for a third. Who knows? Who knows? If someone's saying, I'll give you a third-round pick for Dennis Hildeby, you take that trade. And so that's kind of the main guys that I'm playing deal or no deal for. Michelli, deal. Robertson, deal. McMahon, deal. Waugh, deal. Lorentz, deal. If you're going to get anything higher, like a fourth, sure. And then we get into guys like Domi and Lawton. I'm saying no deal. OEL, deal. McCabe, unless it's 2 seconds, no deal. Carlo, deal. But again, I like him. If we could keep him around, that would be great. But again, I don't know. I don't know. And then Stolars and Hildeby, I'm both saying deal all day for. So those are the main Leafs that I feel like could be trade candidates and could get us kind of out of a bit of the basement that we've found ourselves in trade-wise, situationally. We see Dave in the chat there saying I could see at least 4 deals happening and getting something like 6 or 7 picks back and a few prospects in return. And that would be peak trade deadline for a team that I and probably many other Leaf fans feel has to become a seller. That leaves our core forwards going into next year being Matthews, Nylander, John Tavares, Nyes, Easton Cowan, and I'm saying Scott Lawn and Domi because I like them. Remember, stay hydrated. And then the core defenseman is McCabe and Carlo, if not traded. OEL, but he's going to be an old man. And then Benoit, who, I love Benoit. He's such a hustle guy. And then that leaves the goalie to be Woll and so many holes to fill in free agency and in the draft and in trades in the offseason. So it's going to be a very tough year for this Toronto Maple Leafs team, and I do not envy the general manager and the president. I don't envy anyone in that situation. There's a reason I love going towards the media side and not the management side. Some of the last things to get on here was little JD Bugkiss and Justin Bourne talking on the radio They suggested to re-sign Lawton. Obviously, I suggest you make a layup when you're by the net in basketball. I suggest if the sun is out, you go outside. Basic things. But this is also the part that I like. The more interesting part is, we'll get into that. We will get into that. Don't worry. That's what we're going to round this off with. Don't worry. The approach rally, don't worry. So, first off, though, with Lawton, give him an A. Give him an A right now. Why is he not an assistant captain? Probably because we're bearing him on the fourth line. And then if we were to ever trade Austin Matthews, I don't want that to ever happen. I doubt it will ever happen. But if it were to happen, hypothetically, I think Lawton deserves to be the captain. And I agree with anyone that says that. I also agree that we should probably just trade Waugh and move Lawton up to the third line. The next thing that they talked about was suggesting JT move to the wing. He is ancient. His feet are slower than mine, and I haven't played hockey in years, and I'm out of shape. So, yeah, let's move JT to the wing. He probably moves slower than my brother with scoliosis. Like, come on, let's be real with each other here. This guy's not moving well enough to be a center iceman in the NHL. Let's be real. And then the last thing they talked about was think OEL is the best trade chip. And honestly, at this point, he is. He's not a guy that we're going to miss very much if he's gone, but another team could absolutely shine with him. And now you might be thinking to yourself, when I said Core Leafs coming back next year, there was a defenseman I didn't mention. And there's a reason for that. And that's where I say, is this it? Please be it for Morgan Rielly. I need this guy out of town. I need this guy to get the Marner treatment. I mean, why did we give Marner the hate that we did? I never get that, other than the fact that he's soft. Soft is, things that I won't say. He is, at least he was good. At least he could put up points. Not in the playoffs, but, he would score in the regular season. Morgan Rielly does nothing. I cannot stand another game. It's every year. I'd say that every year. I'm losing it. Those who know me know this has been a regular complaint of mine, and it's not gotten any better as he's gotten older. It's actually gotten worse. If it wasn't for Darnell Nurse, he'd have the worst contract in all of hockey. And that's where we see the comment of approach Rielly. He means about a buyout on his contract. That's where we're at right now. We probably can't find a suitor for this guy. I get it. After he scored 70 points, love him forever, I guess. I can't. I just can't. And I know there is a very large subsection of Leafs that completely agree with me, and I thank you. I resonate with you. We're preaching to the choir right to each other here, but it's too long. And so is this it for Rielly? I hope so. And if we miss the playoffs, which we most likely are, is this it? Oh, that's it. Got to ask him the way if it's no trade clause. Thank you very much. Morgan Rielly, that's why we probably haven't moved him yet, because we signed to a stupid no trade clause that, probably forces us to buy him out. Trade him to Vancouver. He's from BC. Just give him back to his hometown. They're bad. It doesn't matter who they acquire anymore. He's from British Columbia. He's from Vancouver. Just take him back. We don't want him. So, this better be it for Morgan Rielly. He does nothing, literally nothing, in 30 shifts per game. And is this it for Trey Living and Berube? I think it's a resounding yes. I think we're missing the playoffs. I think it's wishful thinking for anyone who believes that we're going to be a playoff team this year. I mean, we as in the Toronto Blue Jays. Toronto Blue Jays, they're a playoff team. No, the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm getting so angry my wires are getting crossed. If the Ottawa Senators win tonight, they won't. But, if they do, they're facing the Colorado Avalanche. then we are officially tied for last place in the Atlantic Division. It could always be worse. We could be the New York Rangers, everyone. But, yeah, we are about to be in last place in the Atlantic Division if we don't stop this losing streak regardless. So is this it? Yeah, this is it. This is it for Brew Bay. This is it for Trey Living. And that's also it for the stream. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you made it this far, make sure you subscribe, turn on that bell notification, and hit like, please. And thank you so much.